This week's coffee is going to be Ethiopia Sidamo Natural. Hello everybody and welcome to episode 177. I'm your host Stephen Layton, and as I said, this week we're going to be talking about a natural coffee from Ethiopia, from the Sidamo region. But we won't be talking for that long, I'm afraid. Ethiopia is a strange country to buy coffee from, presents lots of barriers. I actually wrote an article for a coffee magazine in the States about it, which was published last month. And I've popped it on my blog. So go and have a read and you'll understand why we don't know so much about this coffee. Do read it. I may ask questions later. But for those who won't have time to read it, the gist is that Ethiopia remove all the provenance from the majority of the coffees that they sell. Many thousands of bags are marked up as Sidamo and sold every year. But there's a lot of difference between them, and lots of difference in terms of cup quality. It means that you have to cup them all. You know, you have to look at them. What we do know about this coffee from our investigations is that it's a hand-picked coffee. Most coffees in Ethiopia are hand-picked. In fact, I don't know of any that aren't. It's a natural processed coffee and grown around about 1,800 to 2,000 metres in altitude. A little bit more detective work. We think it's either from Barina or the Benassa region of Ethiopia, of Sidamo. It is a grade 3, which is the normal grading for a natural. All naturals from that region will be marked as grade 3. And that's it. That's all we know. And that's unusual for the coffees that we sell, but something that we have to live with. So I'm going to do the map bit. The map bit is going to be a little bit vague this time. I'm going to show you where those regions are, and I'm going to show you where Sidamo is in relation to the rest of Ethiopia. And I will do that, and I will be back with you in just a second. It's the map bit. No expense spent, it's the map bit. So here we are at Has Been Towers. As always, we're zooming out, and instead of going across the Atlantic, this time we're going to go down, and I've been wanting to do this for ages. So we've gone over France, Spain, over Libya, Sudan, and what we're looking at here is the Ethiopia, so a larger region. In the north you have Harar, in the south you have Sidamo, and you have Yirgacheffe. So let's just zoom in a little bit more to these regions so we can see a little more. So in the middle of, if you think about where Harar is and you think about where Sidamo and Yirgacheffe are, kind of in the middle you have Addis Ababa, which is the capital. I think maybe a little closer to the south, but here we have Sidamo in the northern part and Yirgacheffe in the lower part. And do you know, it kind of, they really aren't far apart, and they share lots of things in common, and lots of things kind of cross over. So anyway, it's a little bit vague, this one, as I said before. I do apologise for that, but you know, that's what happens when you buy from Ethiopia. So that was the map bit. It's the map bit. No expense spent, it's the map bit. Sorry, not lots of info, but hopefully you get an idea of Ethiopian coffee. So time for the Wheel of Death, and the Wheel of Death this week is going to be Clever Dripper. It's one we've done before. We're still waiting for our new WODs, Wheel of Deaths, and I hope that they're soon. But I like the Clever. I think it's going to be a great way to brew this coffee. It's kind of like the clean way to have a cafetiere, and I've been using mine more and more, so it's good to do that. Before I go and make it, I want to talk to you about the saviour of In My Mug. Without this thing, subscriptions would have gone up by £48 a year or £12 for every 3-month one that we have, or we would have had to stop. Royal Mail, in their infinite wisdom, broke the way that we could do subscriptions for In My Mug by changing their prices for postage. Now anything up to 750 grams as a packet is the same. and the price went up by about 35%. And that comes into effect after the weekend. So this little baby has saved in my mug. So subscribers this week will get a bag like that with the coffee bag inside. And it means that it's no longer a packet. Go figure. But that's the reason for the change. I hope that it doesn't cause any problems. We've tested it, we've done a few, and it works well. We've not had any issues, but without this change, in my mug will just be super expensive and wouldn't be something we'd be able to carry on doing, you know. And that kind of, I'm very grateful to this little bag. So yes, that's the change that we've introduced this week and will be going forward. Normal web shop customers, the prices are going to stand still until we understand the full effect of the implementation of the charges. And in my mug subscribers, your postage is not going up. So if you are about to renew or whatever, that's going to stay exactly the same because of that little red bag and the fix that it's given us. So yes, a bit of good news, kind of. I mean, it feels a bit status quo, but I think it's good news. Anyway, time to go and make tasty and delicious coffee. I will be back with you in just a second. Okay, so I'm back. I'm going to dive straight into the espresso. Singles this week, by the way, as well, because I now have a new machine, an Aurelia 2, Nivonu Simonelli machine, which I've been playing with for the past couple of days. It's lovely to be back on singles after my gripe about the doubles last week. Right, espresso. Now, this natural, some of you may remember the Conga Peabury we had at the start of the year, which is from a similar kind of region. It's a naturally processed coffee, but a completely different cup. Like, don't even think they're the same, because they're not. This for me is a much more grown-up natural, whereas the Conga is a little bit kind of crazy, a little bit kind of way fruity, and this is much more body. Think licorice, think that kind of whole chewiness, mouthfeel, thickness, a gloopiness. Absolutely amazing. I'm just going to pop the clever on because the time is right to drain that away. So, into the milk. So, I'm thinking this is going to work really well in milk before I am tasting it, because I expect it to be strong enough to kind of run through. And I'm not disappointed. The coffee comes bowling through this coffee. You get that really aniseedy beautifulness come through. If this were a colour, it was purple. It's that kind of whole, and I know I'm back to cupping by colour, but you really get the aniseed coming through, you get a big body coming through. It's licorice, it's just all of those. It works really, really well. I'm going to whap you on pause again while the clever's just draining off, because I forgot the mug, and I will be back in just a second. Slick, eh? Right, so clever has drained into a receptacle and pour a mug of the coffee. So again, I love this as espresso. I love it as milk. I think I love it more milk than I do espresso. But brewed, this is my bag, because it's something that's got that big chewy kind of back end to it. And it's there. It's a natural. And if you hate natural, this isn't the funky bus coming to town. This is the funky bus passing nearby and giving you something a little bit different. It's not quite James Brown funk. It's more mellow. I would love to think it's more Prince than James Brown. I don't know where that works, but he has some funk. It's a grown-up natural. It's not one of those showy off fruity ones. Again, all of the descriptors I get in there, I get in here. So licorice, aniseed, big body, great mouthfeel, delicious aftertaste. Just a great coffee. I like that. I felt it was time to go to Africa We haven't had an African for a while. We're going to have a few coming up in the near future. We've got some Ethiopians on the way that are going to blow your mind as well. And we've got lots of Centrals and lots of, as we've been going through the Brazils and the Bolivias and the Colombias, it's nice to have a little bit of a detour off to something that's still amazing but different. Okay, sorry it's a short one. In fact, I'm sure a lot of you are quite pleased it's a short one. Sorry it's late coming out. I've been at Tampa Tantrum in Ireland, and I've either got this out from a weak internet connection or had to wait till I get home Sunday night. You guess how it got up. But anyway, I'm stopping. Life is too short for bad coffee.